For years, asylum became one of the most commonly discussed immigration pathway in America, right? Some applicants had legitimate fear, others they claimed persecution, others they kinda argued that they could not simply return to their home countries. And while many cases they were genuine, American authorities, they now believe that the whole system has been exploited. Ladies and gentlemen, a recent Department of Homeland Security memo, it has dramatically intensified scrutiny on asylum claim. The message from the officials, that's clear. False stories will no longer be tolerated, and neither will the lawyers who are accused of helping create them. According to the guidance, immigration attorneys who knowingly submit the fraud asylum applications, they could face serious consequences. They could be fined, they could lose the right to practice before immigration court. In fact, in extreme cases, they could even face criminal charges. This represents one of the strongest warnings issued in recent years. Well, the reason here? Simple. Authorities believe that many asylum claims, they were filed primarily to delay the deportation proceedings and extend stay in the US. Once an asylum application enters the system, cases can take years to resolve. Applicants may receive work authorization. They may remain in the country while proceedings continue, and according to the officials, some individuals allegedly exploit those delays. Now, for Indians, this particular issue carries particular significance. Reports suggest that some applicants from states like Punjab, Haryana, and Gujarat, they use stories involving political persecution, religious threat, family dispute, or other claims that immigration authorities now believe require much closer examination. In the meantime, officials argue that asylum was never intended to become a shortcut for immigration here. Instead, it was designed to protect individuals facing genuine danger. The new crackdown, it signals that authorities intend to enforce that distinction more aggressively. For the people with legitimate claims, the whole system, it remains available, but for those who are relying on fabricated stories, the whole risk that's growing for them. So, this reflects a broader shift in American immigration policy. Enforcement is increasing, scrutiny is increasing, and authorities, they are placing greater emphasis on proving eligibility rather than simply accepting claims at the face value. In fact, the consequences could be significant, not only for the applicant, but also for the legal professional who assist them. And yes, while immigration remains one of the biggest issues affecting Indians in America, another major development is creating headlines back home. Imagine preparing for one of the most important interviews of your life. You gather documents, you organize the evidence, you rehearse the answers, you attend the interview feeling nervous but hopeful. But the officer, he seems pretty satisfied too. The conversation, it goes well. You walk out believing that approval is going to come. And then you hear something unexpected. We don't know what happens next. That's right. That is reportedly what happened during a recent green card interview in Boston. According to an applicant who shared the experience online, even a USCIS officer, he appeared uncertain about how some adjustment of status cases, it might be handled under the latest immigration guidance. The applicant, he was married to a US citizen though. The couple had completed the required paperwork. They attended their interview and answered detailed personal questions about maybe birthdays, family members, jobs, pets, daily routine. The officer reportedly indicated that the marriage, it appeared genuine. But normally, if that would be a positive news, right? But then came the uncertainty. According to the applicant's account, the officer suggested that while parts of the case, it could move forward, some applications might remain pending until clearer guidance appear. Can you think about how frustrating that would be? You do everything correctly. You follow all the rules, you submit every document, you attend every appointment, and yet your future remains uncertain here. Well, for immigrants, uncertainty often becomes more stressful than rejection itself. At least rejection, it provides an answer, but uncertainty, it provides endless waiting. This story has resonated because many immigrants already feel trapped inside a system where timeless changes are there. 1 month brings optimism. The next month it brings confusion. The next memo appears and you have no idea what to do. A new interpretation, it emerges, and suddenly nobody knows what to expect here. Well, for Indian immigrants that are already facing years of waiting, the possibility of additional delay, it is deeply concerning. Every delay affects the decision, career decision, planning of the family, financial planning, travel planning, everything. And that is why immigration updates, they are followed so closely by millions of people, because behind every case number is a family trying to build a life here. And yes, while legal immigrants worry about delays, another group is facing an even tougher reality. A major crackdown is now targeting people accused of abusing the America's asylum system. Because let's be honest, while some immigrants are waiting for approvals, others are now facing investigations, penalties, and even deportation that they do deserve.